Welcome to this episode of The Young Professionista. My name is Mary Grace Gardner, and I'm a college admissions and career coach who helps students discover their passions and write compelling college application essays so that they can apply to their dream college's confidence. And in today's episode, we will be hearing from one of my past students, Julia Wu, and she currently attends UC Berkeley, my alma mater. So I'm really excited about that. We'll specifically talk about college application essays and her tips as a recent high school graduate who got accepted in her dream college. So Julia, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Hi everyone. I'm Julia, and actually I'm a freshman here in Berkeley, and I work with Mary, and she advised me writing the essay, and I got accepted to several UC schools, including Berkeley, UCLA, San Diego, etc., etc.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. So why don't you tell people, why did you pick Berkeley? And then tell us a little bit more about what you're studying.
Oh yeah, actually I picked Berkeley because I attend the summer school here, and I can really feel what the vibe in Berkeley looks like. But UCLA, sadly, I haven't been to LA before because I'm an international student and the COVID things, I cannot travel here. So it is really helpful for the high school student to actually go to the campus, to visit the campus and decide which school they want to pick. And currently I'm a MCB major, stand for molecular and cell biology, but I still consider to double major in cognitive science. Yeah.
Julia, was that the major you thought you were going to go into when you went into Berkeley?
Actually not. I applied MCB major because I've heard there's the neurobio track in it, and I'm very interested in neuroscience, but notice neuroscience and neurobiology are not different, and I wasn't aware of that when I was in high school. And after I attend here, I just realized that a bunch of MCB students, actually the majority of MCB students were pre-med, and I'm not gonna go pre-med. I will more focus on the bio and technology combination. So I just decided to go for a cognitive science, which I will study like linguistics and programming and philosophy and kind of stuff. And that is like what I actually know, what I'm gonna learn after I attend the college.
I'm so glad you said that because a lot of students sometimes feel really worried that they're not choosing the right major, or they think they totally know what they're pursuing, but it's very different when you're actually in college taking those classes, seeing the material that gets covered, the different tracks. And so
Yes.
I think you sharing that just also tells people that it's okay if you need to make adjustments when you're in college after you learn a little bit more about what really the major entails or what the classes
Yes.
are.
And also after you attend several classes and interact with the professors and the college advisors, or you talk to someone in the specific major getting to some intern that you will like, that will be more helpful than just looking at the website, looking at the description, and just imagining what the major is gonna be about.
It's such a great tip. I think it's a lot of students sometimes figure things out just by looking at a Google search and saying, that sounds good. And one of the things I say is everything sounds good until you're taking classes in it and talking to people about it and actually immersing yourself in it, because then you quickly learn, right? And in your first year, you quickly learned, I don't actually like that. It sounds good on the description, but I actually want something slightly different, and that's okay.
Yeah. I've got several of my friends enrolling as one major, and they just decide to change it to a totally different major after one semester. So just don't be afraid of choosing the right one, because you don't know whether it is right until you really experience it.
Yeah. I think it's so important to pursue what you are interested in. And then once you get to college, you can explore it a little bit more. And then you can really learn, actually, do I want to do that? Or do I actually want to do something different?
Yeah.
So I want to shift gears over into college application essays around at the time of this recording. I know especially our 11th graders are really thinking about, okay, spring is coming, summer before application season is coming, and a lot of people are starting to get worried about that. And for the younger students and their families, they're thinking about how to prepare. So let's dive into when thinking back on your experience regarding college application essays, what were some of the challenges and worries that you had about writing your college application essays? And and just for context for the viewers,
Mhm.
Julie and I also work together in my essay workshop program. And so I'd love Julie to share before you even started your essays, what are some of the things that you were really worried about?
Oh, yeah, I was worried about the format of the essay because the application essay would be totally different than any kinds of essay we write about in the high school, right? So I was really focused on like expressing myself instead of Mary told me you actually want to stand from a admission officer's perspective and to see the applicants and to find what their like characteristics, specialities are. So I will jump out from my scope to another scope, like in a different angle to write about myself. And I think that's the most important thing about the college application essay. And the second thing, what I'm worried about is I don't know like how to express like how to find my characteristics because I was thinking of like me as the wrong person has like I'm a sister, I'm an older sister, and I'm a club leader, and I'm a daughter, and I'm a bio enthusiastic, and I don't know like where to start. So Mario gave me a Google Doc to let me fill in the blanks about like things I remember the most or several quote I like the most. And based on these kind of things, she will like discuss what to write about, what to express myself from a very small point. Say, there was an essay about leadership, I remember. So which I just combined like my personality of being an older sister and being a club leader together, and to express how I would evaluate leadership. I think that's pretty interesting because that is my own understanding of leadership, and I will effectively express to the admission officer about myself.
I think what you're sharing about, especially feeling like you have to talk about being well-rounded, a lot of students feel that way, right? Is I need to share that I'm a well-rounded student. And what you just highlighted is that it's actually okay to highlight specific things
Mm,
that you're interested in or passionate about. Was it scary to do that? Or once you realized you could do that, how did it feel to be able to focus on some of those things that make you different?
the thing is just don't under evaluate everything you do. Like it could be as small as like raise your hand answering a question in class, or like helping people to get through their embarrassment. Like those things would tell like what kind of people you are. So don't think that I cannot get into a good college because I'm not a student senate or I'm not a student government participant. It will be fine because as long as you will express your own characteristics and everyone is unique, right? And you have the chance. So don't worry.
As you were going through the process of writing your own essays and
Hmm.
coming up with different ideas, what kind of breakthroughs did you have either about yourself or your story or who you
Hmm.
are, or who you want to become? What are some of those breakthroughs that you had going through that process?
Okay. I will always compare writing an essay as a journey of introspection because I used to be a person with very low self-esteem because of my background, my culture. Like everyone would just deny what you are good at. But after writing an essay, actually before writing the essay, after I got to know what kind of thing I have done and uh, about myself, I will say, oh, actually, I'm a very good person. I did a lot of things and I care about my society. And I actually express like do my best to change the current things and do my best to achieve my goal. So I feel like I'm more confident because I know myself better. And after that, I can really write about me myself. Yeah.
And so as you're going through that, like you're mentioning, getting that confidence in your
Mm-hmm.
story, how have you changed, Julia, as a person now that you're clear on your own personal story? Because like you mentioned, we're trying to figure out, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
biology enthusiast, I'm all these different things. And then, like you mentioned, you were figuring out those important parts to share and how you're different. How do you think you personally have changed now that you can tell your story, or now that you feel like it's
Uh,
clearer to you?
um, well, I feel like I've changed. Can I tell a little story about myself and my
Oh, yeah,
family?
of course, please.
Yes, like me myself is a bio enthusiastic and I really like biology, but my parents would think that biology will require a long time of learning, probably like 10 years. They will persuade me to get a uh safer major like business or accounting stuff. And I before writing the essay, I was like I have to argue with my parents because they don't I feel like they don't support me. But during the process of forming the essay, and I know myself better, and I think calmly about my decision, my dream of being a biologist, I feel like I can understand, I can incorporate what my parents are thinking of and my dream that uh, for me, like let me be a less extreme, like short-sighted people. So um yeah, basically that is what the biggest change on me. So I'm no longer want to be a biologist like doing research in the lab. Instead, I want to be like work for a pharmaceutical company or bioengineering company, and to incorporate biology and the business concept together.
I think you raised a really interesting point. Is this is a really intense time in high school, especially as you're getting closer and closer to college applications. Uh, Parents are wanting to be supportive, students are
Yeah.
overwhelmed by everything going on, and especially if there's like disagreement on what you want for your future and maybe what your parents might envision for the future.
Mm-hmm.
Like you mentioned, there could be a lot of conversations about that. It sounds like through
Yeah.
writing it out, you were able to gather your thoughts, like you just mentioned, being able then to say, why do I want this? Or what do I actually want to do with it other than I want it,
Mm-hmm.
mom or dad? That's it. You have to actually explain it.
Yes. Yes. And I really want you to mention that, Mary, you helped me a lot during the process because you uh as one in the industry, in the bio technique industry, would offer me a new side and new perspective of the like how this industry would work, and like what kind of skills, what kind of academic background I will require. um and that really like helped me to invite kind of like widen my horizon to let me think more about my future instead of really focusing on one point and limiting my like future, my major, my academics in one scope.
Oh, thanks for calling that out. And for viewers who aren't aware, in addition to my passion for mentoring students in college, admissions, career prep, uh,
Mhm.
outside of that, my career also includes working in healthcare. I was a healthcare leader for a decade, and then now also getting experience directly in surgical robotics and the kind of STEM focused companies. And as Julia was sharing what her interests are, oftentimes I know it's really hard in high school to kind of see what are some of the possibilities. And so in addition to sharing, well, here's the stuff you need for college, and here we also talked about okay, now let's focus on beyond college because it's not
Yes.
college is a target, but what is the career that you actually want to do? We talked about some of the careers that are outside of what you might have talked about in high school, and just how can you combine those different interests. If you want to do business, or if you want to do biology, if you want to do research, you don't have to be just one thing, right? That's such a nice thing about this world now, is you could be multiple things and be successful and happy and fulfilled. And it sounds like going through that process, it was also helping you to figure out what you might want to do going forward.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's really important because
So
sometimes I just like be limited to one belief, one fixed belief, even though that might not necessarily be the best choice.
especially if you're interested like you in multiple things, I think more and more we're seeing students getting interested in more multiple things. I have students
Yeah,
say, I like accounting, but
interdisciplinary.
I'm also an artist, right? Or I want to be a doctor, but I also want to run a business too, right? So there's
Yeah.
a lot of the mixture of interests. And I think that it's such a great time now to be able to combine those things and being able
Mm-hmm.
to stand out in that way. So as you were going through the essay writing process, let's talk about that a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So you went through my workshop process, which includes the brainstorming before,
Mm-hmm.
and then the writing process itself, and then the refinement at the end. What was your favorite thing about just going through that whole process of writing and process of figuring out what to even focus on? What was your favorite part?
My favorite part would be like discussing the essay content and essay outline with you, because actually I know Mary for a long time. We've worked together for 3 years, so sometimes I can say Mary can like understand me as a friend, but since she's very professional as a college admission officer, and she can like tell me what kind of thing what my characteristics is not very efficiently conveyed in my essay. So she will help me to improve, like specify the part that I missed to like make my image more vivid.
Mm. I
And you, yeah.
I remember sometimes as we were looking at it, especially in our office hours, and we went through
Mm-hmm.
hours together and with some of the other students, and you were sharing some ideas. I remember we were talking about, or I would have questions like,
Uh-huh.
Julia, isn't this why you said you were interested in this thing? Or wait, isn't that because of also this experience
Yes,
that you
yes,
mentioned before? Right. So
yeah, yeah.
questions like that, where maybe someone outside of your
Mm-hmm.
experience can see some potential connections, and it was those sorts of conversations that we used to have.
Yes. Sometimes like I cannot just realize things that I do has the connection of uh something else that I can like combine them together in the essay, because I was just like not aware of it. I'm not very experienced in analyzing myself. So, and that will help me of that.
Can we talk about that? You just raised the feeling not experienced about analyzing yourself. So that's such a that's such an important part of the application process, is you are analyzing yourself, right? And for some, it could be the
Yeah.
first time that they've had to do that. Can you explain a little bit about what that means when you actually have to start looking at your life and then figuring out what to write about? Can you share with students what that means?
Oh yes. Well, that will be related to my main essay, like the common app essay. I write about the my family, actually my mom, me, and the other girl in my society. So it's basically two things, like the tension between me and my mom, which would be kind of cliche because um, a tough mom and her daughter, right? But at the same time, I was working on a charity club that helps the to raise funds for period poverty and help the girls near like my province. So, um, but I initially I do this because I was aware that they have the period poverty, and I think it's my responsibility as a like teenage girl, like girl at their same age to help them. But Mary would point out that these two things has some connections of um, kind of uh, girls helps girls, and the like the belief of getting better throughout generation to generations. So I think this thought would be very innovative and will actually is actually the most efficient way for me to convey my thought and my kind of belief that without with the help of like how to say that with the help of like with the I cannot actually really say that.
That's okay. That's all right.
But you know the feeling, right?
Yeah, like wanting to be able to figure out how to convey that thought, right? Of what impact it can make, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So one other thing I want to ask you about, Julia, is so in the experience I know through your essay writing experience with me, you were exposed to other students and see other students in office hours or in live workshops. Can you share with folks how that was to be able to work with other students outside of your school or hear from other students outside of your school and whether or not you liked or did not like it?
Yes, do you remember I talked about I'm very stressed and very concerned of my essay writing when it's like in 12th, like 11th grade. So when I like have the opportunity to meet other one like in other high schools, probably like their whole experience is different than mine, but I can still feel they are very anxious about writing the essay. They're concerned of it as well. So I felt less stressed. I would say like people from different school would experience the same thing, and I'm not the only one get lost in the essay writing process. And I feel less stressed. Actually, that's really the thing. I feel I'm on the right track because you helped me to form the outline, and I'm gradually finishing my essay. So I feel like a sense of that the essay writing part is manageable. So I can keep calm and like focus more on myself. That's the one point. And the other is sometimes the other students thought would inspire me. Like I cannot come up with the example, but it's similar to the class discussion part. Someone will raise the question and you realize that right, it is the part that I don't understand, or it is the part I'm stuck with to solve this problem. It's the same thing. You really have to look at like how other people think about the things and like how it can apply on yourself.
I hear that often is because a lot of times students feel like they're alone, right? They feel like they're alone in the stress and they're
Yes.
alone in this hard situation of a very important time, and then being able to talk with other students outside of their school. Sometimes it can be a little bit awkward when you're talking with your classmates about it because you're all in the same place. Or sometimes it can feel a little competitive too if you're sharing ideas. And then like you just mentioned, hearing other students going through it together makes it at least more bearable because you know you're not the only one. And then
yeah, I really want to mention that when I like sometimes I talk to my friends to and they will encourage me, but I would doubt that they encourage me because we're close, right? They say you have a very good idea, but that's probably because like we've been for friends for several years. But if you shared an idea or your thought or something with someone you never gonna know or you just met, and they say, "Oh, that's actually a very good idea," you feel like the supportiveness would rise for a very high level.
yeah, yeah, because they're your friends and family. Sometimes they might be concerned about hurting your feelings, right? Or they might know some additional context that someone who's reading your essay on admissions might not know all that additional context. And when you're in a safe space with other people who don't know you as well, they aren't risking as much if they tell you, Julia, that's a confusing topic, or
yeah, that's
topic,
another
right?
point. Yeah.
So, what would you say to somebody who is thinking about signing up for the essay workshop, but they're not sure whether or not they should, or if it's going to help them to be able to write their essays? What would you say to someone who's not sure about getting help?
I would say if you're looking for an experienced advisor and the vice mentor, and you should come to the workshop because I know there's like several seminar workshop run by students or like freshmen, sophomore in college, but actually they're not very experienced. I cannot say that, sorry. Actually, I would say because they are still students, so they don't know a lot about how the career, how the your future work would be gonna be like. But right, and I can tell pretty much Mary is a very experienced advisor. She has advised say hundreds, right? Hundreds of students. And sometimes when uh, have office hours with Mary, she will always talk to me like, I have a previous student who go to blah 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 school, and she has or he has a similar background as you, and this is how she would effectively analyze, like arrange their essay. And there's a lot of example you can cite from.
Yeah, students have really appreciated seeing examples of real other
Mhm.
students who might be of different interests or different colleges. And that's something I've really always appreciated, that my students are always wanting to help the next generation of students because they know it was so hard for them. And so being able to help the other students going forward is something my students are
Mhm.
always excited about. So Julia, anything else that you want to share about the essay process or essay writing process?
Well, the last thing I want to say is don't overstress yourself. Sometimes a little bit stress would be very good to push you to finish your essay, but don't worry a lot because I mean you're only teenagers, right? Your life just started. And the second thing I want to share is start earlier. It really helps. Don't uh uh, don't push everything to the last minute and finish up. It will be very stressful.
Oh, yes, that one is a big one. Because I think a lot of times that students think that they've got so much time because the essays are not due till later on, but really
Yeah.
it goes by so fast, right? I mean, remember your senior year and how
Mm-hmm.
much you had to
Yes. Yeah.
do. So it's
It's not an essay. It's the whole process of knowing yourself. So spend more time on it. I would say
yeah,
probably half a year.
yeah, I think that's something important because a lot of times students think, oh, just like I could cram this essay, just like I did for everything else
My yeah. My
assignment.
assignment essays.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't do that.
Different. Okay, that's also the last question I have for you before we go. So
Mm-hmm.
what tips would you share with our audience if there's any big tip that you have regarding preparing for college or this college journey? What is your biggest tip that you want to share with students?
Mm, the biggest thing, actually, the biggest thing overall about college application and going to college is uh, keeping an eye on of your mental health. Because as a freshman, I can tell high school and college is very different. And a lot of my friends like are very stressed about the difference. They cannot like convert their thought and their like study pace for that. But I would say uh, keep calm and talk to someone you trust, talk to someone more experienced, someone could give you more advice, and that really helps.
That's a,
Um,
yeah. So
yeah, yes. And the other thing is believe in yourself. You're fantastic from anyway. Yeah, everyone is fantastic in their own way. So don't feel very stressed comparing to others. Um, like say they got several like good scores, something, but you have your specialities and you're different. You're very unique and can always find the uniqueness and like express them. Like don't feel shy to express your uniqueness to other ones.
Yeah, that's so important. The mental health piece is so important because oftentimes people skip it and then they burn out or
Yes,
don't
it's
care
not gonna,
about it
it's
until
not
it's too
healthy.
late, right? It's not
Yeah.
healthy. And then everyone has something special about them, right? I think that
Mm-hmm.
everyone at the time when they're going through the process feel like I don't have anything special about me, but actually, yeah, you do. Everyone does, right? And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
building that confidence is so
You
important.
just don't realize that you have to like talk to someone and they point it out and say, yeah, you have this kind of very special things, right?
Yeah, sometimes it helps to hear it also from other people of what they see, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Julia, thank you so much for this update. It was so wonderful talking with you, catching up with you. All the best at Berkeley. I know they are so
Mm-hmm.
lucky to have you. I was so lucky to work with you. And so for those of
Me
you who are
too.
watching this, let us know in the comments below what was your biggest takeaway. And if you're interested in joining one of my free upcoming courses on
Mm-hmm.
college application essays, go ahead and sign up at thecollegeapplicationessay.com. And that'll take you to my latest free class that you can sign up for. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.